What's up, Yu-Gi-Oh players? This is the RJB0 and welcome back to my Format That Makes Sense video series. In this video, I'm going to be talking very quickly because I'm running out of battery on my iPod, but I'm also going to be talking about a bunch of standalone cards, by which I mean a few, that I think need to be hit by the next format, or would make sense to be hit, I'm sorry. I think some of you guys are wondering, well, is this guy bringing back any cards? And I am saving that for the next video, in which I will be talking about decks in the future and what Konami needs to do to prepare for those. So the first card I want to talk about is Blackluster Soldier. Now, this is arguably the most busted card in the TCG, with maybe the exception of Future Fusion. You know, all the classic reasons: 3,000 attack and attack twice, no cost, remove cards on the field, etc., etc., etc. Well, it would make sense to put it at 0, except for the fact that following the trend of a lot of other really good cards, I think Blackluster Soldier still has another reprint left in it, at least one other. Take, for instance, Dark Armed. Dark Armed started off with a secret, and then it got its almost as rare Turbo Pack Ultimate, and then it got its Gold Series reprint, and then it was Super from a tin, and now it's a common. So BLS has had 3 reprints already, but 2 of them happened back when it was legal the first time. So Konami isn't making any money off of either of those now. But the Gold Series reprint does follow the trend that Dark Armed followed, which means that it's entirely likely that they're going to try and make more money off of it now. I think the most likely reprint it's going to get is in the new Yugi's World Legendary Collection, because that makes sense. It's a Yugi card, and it's Yugi's World. But it could also get a tin or a special edition reprint. My next card is Future Fusion, as I mentioned above. I mentioned in my last video that Chaos Dragons need to get hit somehow, since they're probably not going to hit any hieratic support. Future Fusion and Blackluster being hit would probably hit Chaos Dragon pretty hard. Future Fusion is just a stupidly good card. It starts an OTK that I don't think Konami's going to make a whole lot of money off of, except for Escuria Dao, I think, is like the exception to that. But the card is just dumb. If you open with it in Chaos Dragon, you basically win. So I agree with everybody else that it should probably go. Tour Guide. Now this is basically the stupidest card of the format. You can go for Zen mains with it. They're not going to hit Zen mains, of course, because of the big reprint. But you can go for a lot of things, get a lot of pluses off this card, and it requires basically 0 commitment to the field. Now, they just made a ton of money off of its only reprint in Battle Pack Epic Dawn, so I think that they're going to be okay with hitting Tour Guide. However, I don't think that they're going to, like, slaughter Tour Guide. I think they're going to put it at 2. That would make sense, because then you will only have, you'll have half the likelihood of getting Tour Guide support, which is usually just a Tour Guide. So instead of seeing 3 Tour Guides in a second, you're probably just going to see 2 Tour Guides. So they'll still keep making money off of Battle Pack Epic Dawn, but you won't have the threat of the stupidity of Tour Guide running around. Now, Valor is the next one I want to talk about. Now, Valor has some discussion around it. Because if, like I talked about in my last video, they hit Insector, they hit Gadget, they hit Rabbit, they hit Wind-Up, Valor won't be as necessary. However, I think that they aren't going to ban Heavy Storm, which I think would be necessary in order to make the hitting of Valor justifiable. But I think they would hit Valor because it will slow down the game too much for their new fast-paced decks. It is getting in the way of the possibility of making a lot of money off of a Max C reprint. And I think Valor's gotten all the reprints it's going to get. So it's entirely possible that they're going to put Valor down to 2 or 1. I wouldn't like it, because it would make the game too fast, and it would make it harder to stop stupid decks. but it's possible. And my camera is going to do something stupid again because it's on low battery. However, I will keep making the video and finish it off very quickly. Alright, duality. Now I think they might hit duality because, you know, you don't see it much in the TCG. However, it's in 3s in every single deck in the OCG. They are very duality happy. And they need to make money off of Card D, which is plummeting in price. So hitting duality would make sense, along with the fact that duality has already gotten 2 reprints. See the pattern here? So they need to make more money off of consistency-based cards, and duality isn't going to do that for them. Some cards to mention. Heavy Storm. Once again, I don't think they're going to ban it, even though they should, because they're going to be making a lot of decks off, or a lot of money off of decks like Hieratic and Laval and stuff like that, that require you to be able to clear your opponent's back row to OTK. Monster Reborn. Would kind of make sense for them to hit that. They don't really have any reason not to, so I think that's entirely likely. Mind Control, I believe, is the last one I want to talk about, which is a ridiculously good card in the current format, but I think they might want to keep it around for Mermails. We'll see. Anyway, until the next video, this is the RJB0 signing out.